I'm back. It has been probably about a year, I feel like, since I've posted. I have not been good about being consistent, but you know what? We are doing our best here. My name is Laura. Welcome to the Unfiltered Beauty podcast. I am a chronically online designer, creative. I kind of like to talk about things, but I try and keep it focused through the filter of beauty and fashion, because that's kind of, I guess, one of my areas of expertise. But I'm trying to keep it light but also serious at the same time, and just having fun. So today, I don't know what I'm actually going to title this, but it's going to be my sort of jumping off point was the Republican makeup trend, which I'll explain if you're unaware of that later. But we're just going to talk about kind of the right versus the left. We're going to get a little political actually in this one. Just kind of talk about the state of the world and just the way that people are online and kindness. Oh yeah, and while I do all that, I'm going to be doing my makeup and creating the look that if you're watching on YouTube that you see on me right now. If you're listening, I have like a pretty intense blue, green, and purpley kind of makeup look. It's just like a very, I guess, editorial leaning look. So I like to play with makeup and colors and all that. So we're just going to have fun, play with makeup, talk about some serious and not so serious topics. So let's just jump right in. I just have my brows and my foundation on, but like nothing else. So I look very washed out. Probably not the wisest choice to choose a wig in this color, but I wanted something neutral for the look that you've already seen because you've seen the intro. Anyways, I'm so out of practice here. It's unbelievable. I don't know. I go back and forth every day about like whether I should continue doing this, but it's like I like making videos. I like being in front of the camera, but also social media kind of sucks, and it's also hard to get seen on social media. Just with the way that algorithms are working, it pushes out paid content, whatever. You guys don't care. Anyways, let's just move on. So the reason that we're here today, you know what? I think I'm probably going to take this ring off because it's irritating me, but I think it's super cute. It's from a brand. Wow, this is like really dystopian influencery where I'm like complaining about stuff, but then it's like also like, hey. Anyways, this really cute ring, I'll just show you, from a brand called Gothic. I don't know, they sent me some free jewelry and it's really cute. It's like a sword with a skull on it. It's like really edgy. I don't know. It's like obviously a kind of goth leaning brand. And they have some cute pieces for a pretty decent price. I do have a code. I don't think it's a commission code because it seems like everyone has the same code. But I'll just put it up somewhere on screen and in the description or show notes somewhere if you're interested. I mean, I guess if you're listening to this and you can't really see, whatever. It's a cute little like ring with a sword on it. And it's got a little chain attaching the sword to like literally a sheath almost, or like I guess like a hole. It's not really a sheath that you can like put it in. It has a little skull on it. It's super cute. I'm going to put on the rest of my makeup while we kind of like chit chat about stuff, and by we I mean me, and you're just going to listen. I'm going to use the Melt Cosmetics cream blush light in the shade Polished just to warm up my face because right now I look very washed out, and we will get to the discussion, the topic at hand. I don't know, I've been like toying with making this video for I guess a while now. Oh boy, this is talk about blush blindness. I've been debating making this video for a while, and then I guess a few weeks ago now I saw a video on TikTok, and like then I realized it was a trend about Republican makeup, and that sort of was like the catalyst for me to be like, okay, fine, I'll make this video. I'm gonna use the Kaleidos Space Age Prophecy highlighter because I want something very, very sparkly. Doesn't really go with the look that I have planned, but you know what? We're having fun today. It's this like beautiful duochrome, like red, pink to green highlighter, and it is, maybe it's a multi-chrome. Anyways, it is beautiful and I love it. By the way, my last episode, i.e. my first episode, I had a script and everything that I was following. Like, it was bullet point notes, but I had a script. And today we are off script. I have a couple like sort of bullet point ideas that I want to talk about, but we're just ad-libbing this. And you know what? I think this is a more fun and organic kind of way to approach this. So I don't know, you guys will have to tell me if this is more fun and engaging, I guess. Okay, that is shiny. I love it. We are sparkling and shining, and this is making me feel good. I love it. Basically, okay, I guess I'll put in a couple clips here, but it's only really going to be relevant for people watching this. So I'll kind of try and describe this for people who are listening. Basically, the joke is that Republicans, they do their makeup really badly in a way that really ages them. There's a lot of like fake tan or self-tanner that's like 20 shades too dark for them. Generally, overwhelmingly white blonde women, whether they're naturally blonde or not, they're all blonde, very, very pale blonde, tan skin, just makeup that seems dated. To me, it almost looks like, hard to tell. Sometimes it's like 90s or even like late 80s style makeup, like really thin either really thin or really thick eyebrows. So like, I guess the thick eyebrows sort of leaning into like the 2010s makeup with like brows that are way, 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 way too dark to match the shade of their hair. Their lips, usually too pale shade of lipstick and or lip gloss. Lips drawn pretty small on women who have like just naturally small lips. Oh yeah, mascara is usually clumpy. Eyeshadow isn't blended. Like, it's just of it. The makeup just sort of brings everything down, so it just makes them look older, kind of more like haggard or tired than they are. Like, they don't look happy, honestly. So that is kind of the vibe. So I thought I would try out the About Face matte fluid eye paints. I have two of them that have been sitting in my drawer, like waiting for me to try them out. And I thought this would be kind of a fun tie-in because I have a blue and a red shade, and I'm sort of talking about left versus right politics, but like from a beauty and fashion standpoint, because I'm obviously not a political channel or anything like that. I really don't want to get too deep into politics, but I thought this could be kind of something a bit of a segue into talking about where the culture is and how that affects beauty standards and just sort of culture in general. So, you know, Republican, Democrat, I thought this would be like a little tie-in, but we're not going to get too deep into politics. So I'm going to do an eye look while I talk about things, and I'm realizing now that like I'm going to have to focus on this, but also sort of look at the notes that I jotted down earlier. So this is going to be a little bit challenging, but bear with me. I'm really excited actually to try these out. I wanted to try these out for a while. Ooh, I like the matte packaging. This is lovely. TikTok irritates me so much. I have like a love-hate relationship with TikTok because like, I don't know, there's a lot of cool things on there, but there's a lot of like cruelty, and there's a lot of, I don't know, like people projecting their insecurities in a way that like, I don't know, I guess oh, this is a pretty blue. In a way that I guess people have been doing on the internet for a long time now. Oh, I love this. I love this. This is so easy to work with. Wow. People project their insecurities in a way that, in my opinion, just creates more insecurities and it leads to more people being self-conscious about that thing, I guess, or insecure about that thing. Oh, right. So I was saying about Republican makeup that like people like to laugh about, you know, bad makeup and like, oh, ha ha ha, isn't that like funny that her mascara is clumpy or her fake tan is so bad or whatever, this and that. And I think it's partly just a projection that, you know, they're insecure about whether it's their mascara being clumpy or their tan being bad or like whatever else it is. They're like hyper focused on their appearance and to either overcompensate or whatever it is, they're like also hyper fixated on whatever everyone else is doing. It sort of goes two ways. We compare ourselves to others and we're insecure when we don't match the standards that like other people have set, I guess. So if we're like, we feel like we're not as pretty, as skinny, as whatever as other people, but then it also, okay, this is a little bit more watery than I expected. Okay, I literally have no plan here. Yeah, so it goes that way, but then it's also like you're comparing yourself to others and being like, if you perceive yourself as, okay, yeah, that's not working. If you perceive yourself as like superior in some way, or like, oh, like my mascara, I'm just using that as an example. My mascara isn't clumpy. Well, like, at least mine isn't because hers looks terrible, but at least I'm having a good mascara day. And it's sort of like you're, even in your head, maybe putting other people down. Like, I'm not saying everyone does this. I'm just saying, like, some people have a tendency to do this. It's almost like Schadenfreude in a way, where you're sort of deriving pleasure, I guess, from other people's misfortune. So, you're taking comfort, I guess, in the fact that your makeup isn't bad at the expense of someone else's looking bad. I don't know. Does that make sense? Maybe I'm like hyper analyzing here, but anyways, that's sort of like how this whole like discourse on TikTok kind of feels to me. Is like, I don't know, it feels like there's a lot of internalized like, I don't know, people have like a superiority complex that like, at least I don't look like that. Like, my makeup might be bad, but at least I don't look like that. I don't know, it feels weird to me. Okay, we're gonna try and line my waterline with this. So let's hope that I don't mess up my eyes. But yeah, anyways, it just feels like bullying to me. Not like it's really relevant, but I'll mention it here anyways. Well, first of all, I'm Canadian, so Republican, Democrat is kind of irrelevant to me in a direct sense, although we are affected by the US a lot. If it's relevant at all politically, I'm more of a centrist. So I'm kind of looking at both sides being like, kind of disagree with both of you. But yeah, I don't know. It just, ooh. Okay, this looks really cool. Having the red in my waterline. Just hope that it doesn't run and it's actually able to dry nicely, because this is kind of a vibe. Ooh, I love it. I don't know. It just feels like Mean Girl energy, and like from the left, which sort of like touts itself as being sort of like morally superior, I guess, in a way, or like, the moral voice of reason. There's a lot of Mean Girl energy coming from that side of things with this trend. I don't know. It sort of rubbed me the wrong way. So I thought I would talk about it. Okay, I'm going to let that dry. This is really bothering my eyes. And I'm going to use that sort of as a segue into my next point. Just the division of people that I've been seeing in the past 5+ years. Probably more than that, actually. Probably since like 2016. But really, yeah, I guess I'd say since 2016. So I guess the past, 9 years. Yikes. Just the growing divide between left and right, and the push towards extremism on both ends. And just for the record, when anyone says that they're a radical anything, or they're in support of radical anything, I'm not interested. Honestly, I think radicalism in any form is bad and harmful and, creates these divides where, oh, this is cool. I really like this. I don't know, it creates these divides that, like, the more extreme you get with your viewpoint, the less likely it is that any sort of dialogue is possible. Because you're viewing the other side as the enemy, and it just leads to more and more violence and hate, and I am not in support of that. I don't know, I think, first of all, getting outside and touching grass has a lot of merit, says someone who, is a homebody and spends a lot of my time indoors when I can. But there are merits to going outside and having actual conversations with people. And actually, on that note, you're less likely to be a dick to someone when you talk to them in person and actually, like, hear them out, hear their viewpoint, and sometimes agree to disagree. Like, most people aren't hateful. Most people, you can actually come to an understanding with them. You get so riled up online, and when there's that level of anonymity and you can kind of, like, I don't know, people feel like they can kind of say whatever they want without repercussions. Generally, it leads to people being just crueler and nastier with each other, versus if you were having the same conversation in person, you would probably be a bit more respectful and hear them out. And, like, the weird thing today about, like, politics and just kind of the world and the way that things are is, so I'm going to use the Blend Bunny Blends palette, and I'm going to use the blue shade, the, like, just pure blue shade called Chance. And by left and right, I guess I should probably be more specific with what I'm saying. So, all right, we're gonna try and, like, blend this blue into, I don't know what I'm doing, into the shade that I just put down, and this is not working. Okay, let's try a smaller brush. This weird, like, moral purity and this weird, like, you have to stick to the party line or else on both sides. So on the right, I'm talking about, like, Trump, etc. And on the left, I guess I'm not talking about, like, a particular figurehead, but anyone who's sort of far left, what some people might call woke. Anyways, there's just sort of like this, I'm gonna have to clean this up, but it is looking cool. It's just a little bit thicker of a line in front here. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. There's just sort of like this, you have to stick to the party line on everything, and if you don't, then it's almost like you're not welcome in our club anymore. It's like, it's really bizarre. So we saw this with Trump during his first term. Okay, yeah, this is not really the vibe that I'm going for, but whatever, we'll make it work. We saw this the first time that he was in office where, oh yeah, this is not really the vibe. Kind of want to use a different eyeshadow. I'm just going to use the light blue shade Dream next to it. Anyone who didn't, like, follow him blindly and accept everything he was doing as, like, you know, word of God, basically, would get fired or, you know, have their careers ruined and things like that. It's like this sort of, like, you have to agree with me on everything echo chamber type thing, and that I feel like has sort of trickled down into, I don't know, what I see in, like, my interactions. Like, I know a lot of people on sort of all points of the spectrum, or most points of the spectrum, I guess. And even just like the conversations that I have where people bring up like, oh, like, you know, you support this and this, oh, you're so woke. And like sometimes it's tongue in cheek, sometimes it's not. It's never like, I mean, it's never in a derogatory way, like in a serious manner, I guess. You know, it's sort of like, oh, you support this one issue or you don't support this issue, oh, you're so woke. It's like so derogatory. And then on the left side, it's like, I would argue in some ways more of an echo chamber, just in regards to things like cancel culture, which I'll get to a little bit more in a second. But, you know, there are certain hot button issues or causes. There's no room for nuance really on either side. So if you, I guess, deviate from the party line on anything, you're sort of seen as a traitor. I don't know, it's just like, it's really bizarre. Like, what happened to having individual thought and opinions? Because, like, political, I guess, affiliation or like politics in general, like, it's a spectrum. So you're not going to be 100% aligned on every single issue. So it's just really bizarre to me. I love how I said I'm not going to get into politics, and then here I am, like, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour later, just rambling on about politics. Ooh, I love the way this blue is turning out. I just need to fix this wing. But I don't know. It's like, you're never going to be totally aligned. Like, just humans aren't like that. We're diverse. We have lots of different opinions. And it's okay to, like, have an individual thought for once in your life. Like, it's weird to me. Okay, let's do more red. I don't know, it's weird to me that these echo chambers are emerging where you have to be totally aligned on everything, and it's this weird, like, it's not fully, like, you're not fully ostracized generally. For certain issues, it feels like you are, and it's just like, it's like, who do you think you are? Like, you're not like, you know, you're not like the king. You can't just like decree like, oh, we're gonna like kick you out of the club. Like, are you, like, we're not in kindergarten. I don't know. It's just, it's so strange to me that like people can't have normal conversations and individual thought and nuanced opinions. And I don't know. It's sort of like an all or nothing type sort of like an all or nothing type thing where you're either with us or against us, and if you disagree on anything, you're against us. It's very weird. And like Trump is exactly the same way. So like I'm putting blame on I guess like both sides, if you want to call it that, but like I hate calling it like a side thing. But it is that very black and white thinking of like, either you agree with me on everything or you're a traitor, and it's weird. I don't know, it's weird. It shouldn't be like that. Okay, now I'm gonna try and add some of that under here, and then maybe I'll keep the middle blank so we can do something sparkly over there. I think that's fun. So yeah, anyways, that was sort of like my jumping off point, I guess. I guess we'll go back to the cancel culture thing, and then I'll talk about one more thing. So people have been hearing, like, you have to be living under a rock to not know what cancel culture is, but if you have, just give a brief definition, I suppose. So basically, it's essentially like a boycott, right? Like, if you say something, whether it's, something racist or homophobic, etc., or, whatever it is, you do some kind of perceived wrongdoing, then you're essentially shunned. And that can mean anything from ensuring that you don't get a job in your industry anymore. Like career opportunities are affected. Oh, I guess this is dry already. Okay. I thought I could kind of smudge this out, but I think this might be mostly dry. Anyways, yeah, so you're basically your career opportunities are affected, or sometimes it's like you're shunned socially, but there's some sort of either financial or social, sometimes it can be more than one, repercussion for your actions. And the thing about it, this brush is way too big. In theory, the thought is like, you know, you do something bad, there are negative consequences. I guess, you know, repent for your sins, and then we can move on, and then presumably, I guess, once you see the error of your ways, you can like integrate back in society, I guess is the point. Except I feel like people took that too far, and you're canceled forever. Like you can never recover from your wrongdoing, and unless you like fully like beg and plead, you're ruined. I don't think we should be like damaging people's lives, like even if they do something wrong. Like I like to believe in the good in people, and I'm gonna use the red shade here, and I like to think that most people are just ignorant. They don't know any better, and if you kind of like educate them, they'll realize they did wrong, and then we can move on and go back to normal life, and they're not like ruined forever. It's like, you know, it teaches them a lesson or whatever, but they're not financially or socially destroyed. And like, I don't know, I guess like I'm more of a fan of accountability culture. Like the same way that you have, if you have like a misbehaving child, and then you have some sort of like punishment for them, like, you know, grounding them or whatever, and then they apologize or they change their ways, and then we move on and they hopefully learn a lesson. Like that just seems to me a lot more productive, because there's sort of like an actionable thing. There's a consequence, and then there's hopefully some sort of like learning from your mistakes, and then we can move on and all live happily ever after at the end. If you're just canceling them and like basically punishing them forever and leaving them in some sort of like purgatory type thing, they're not going to learn anything. They're going to become more resentful. Honestly, like, I think it can radicalize them and, you know, turn them completely the opposite of what you want. And it just doesn't seem productive. It just doesn't seem like it really accomplishes anything. It just makes a whole bunch of angry people more angry at you. Change my mind. Okay, I'm going to use the Divina Nerds Single Shadow. Is that the vibe? Like, not really, but whatever. We're just going to go with it. I'm going to tap that on really lightly. I don't have a glitter primer, mostly because I'm lazy, but normally I would put one on. I just kind of want it light, so I don't really care. I'm going to use Divina, which one is this? Everlasting Gobstoppers. The same way that I think boycotts are honestly kind of stupid. Like, okay, you know what? I really don't care where you spend your money or where you don't. Like, it's none of my business. I really don't care. But canceling businesses because of their political affiliation or whatever, and you like boycott them, and it's like, oh, I can't support this one because they said this, and I can't support this one because they did this, and I can't support this one because they did this. And like, listen, I understand there are businesses that I boycott as well, so I'm like a bit of a hypocrite, but like, hear me out. Obviously, shop wherever you feel comfortable. Don't shop where you don't feel comfortable. If you are LGBTQ and there's a business that said a bunch of like transphobic or homophobic things, obviously I understand if you're not comfortable shopping there. Like, I'm not saying that you should shop there or anything. It's just like there's some, like, I see this in the beauty industry with a lot of the sort of like very left-leaning people, where it's like there are spreadsheets of canceled businesses because this one did this and this one did that and this one posted this and this one posted that. And like after a while, you're going to get to a point where there are no businesses left that you will support because no one's perfect. I'm sure you're going to get to a point where the founder of pick a business did something one time, had an old tweet, this or that, and it doesn't align with you on one of your important issues, and like you're gonna have no one left to support. That's why I think accountability culture makes a lot more sense, because it encourages people to actually like learn from their mistakes and try and do better. You're not giving them a chance to do better when you cancel them. And that's my issue, is you have one chance. If you blow it, you are just fucked. Too bad. You have no opportunities left. You blew it. You're garbage now. That's holding everyone to an impossibly high standard. We all make mistakes. And hopefully, I like to think that most people are good deep down. And if they make an honest mistake, you apologize and move on. Let's try and be a bit kinder to people and like educate from a place of love instead of instantly attacking from a place of hate, I guess is my point. Okay, what am I doing with my eyes? Should I do red lashes? I think that would be kind of a vibe. Oh my god, should I do red on the top and blue on the bottom, or is that too much? That might be too much. Okay, let me put something blue in the middle here. I think I'm gonna do nerds again, just in the center here. But yeah, I don't know. It feels like the right and the left are just becoming more and more extreme. If you're in the club, then you're like heavily incentivized to repeat the party line and continue as usual. And then if you're not, then you're kicked out of the club, and like, I don't know. I just see this whole system falling apart. Like, I don't see how we can continue this way, because we're just moving into like fascism and what's the other end? I don't know. It's like totalitarianism and just this, again, this like purity that people, this standard that people can't maintain. It's just not realistic. I think also the way that you like correct someone, like, you know, when you're trying to convince them, like either like if they made a mistake or you just like disagree with them politically, like whatever the case is, it's like, I shouldn't have to say this, but clearly I have to. It's all in the delivery. Like, if you're gonna be a dick and just like yell at someone, they're obviously not going to be inclined to listen to you, because no one wants to feel like they're in trouble. So like I shouldn't have to say this, but like, think before you speak. Like, we could all benefit, and like, I'm not trying, this is going to come off as sounding really like kumbaya, but like a little bit of kindness really goes a long way. And also, when you're talking to someone and trying to convince them of your like viewpoint or whatever, like, be prepared for the fact, ow, that hurt my lashes. Be prepared for the possibility that they might disagree with you and you might not end up convincing them, and that's okay. Again, people have differing opinions on things, and people need to accept that. Okay, let's see if I can coat my lashes with this. Oh, it's sort of working. Again, no one's gonna have the exact same opinion as you on everything, and that doesn't mean they're wrong. We just have different opinions, and that's fine. That's what makes us unique. Like, I mean, these are literally lessons that you learn on like kids' TV shows. Like, I don't understand how we got into a point where we're just so hateful and so like uniform, I guess, in our beliefs. I don't know. It's really bizarre to watch. And okay, now we're going to segue finally into something beauty and fashion related. I'm trying to be objective when I look at trends and things and not be like, oh, when I was a kid, we weren't like this. Like, we probably were. The way that everything looks the same, and also like, let's look at the beauty industry as well as the fashion industry. And like, you can totally disagree with me. I'm just saying my truth. But yeah, if you feel differently, like, go ahead, that's fine. Feel free to comment below. Love to chat about this kind of stuff. But the way that like dupe culture has just kind of taken over. Wow, I'm like segueing all over the place here. The way that dupe culture has just sort of like taken over, I guess, with the rise of like fast fashion and Amazon and like, you know, being able to get that instant gratification and order things and they're delivered like instantaneously. This is kind of cool. This is a look. I'm vibing. I think let's do blue on the lower lashes. I think that would be really cool. The way that like high-end and sort of mid-range, low-end, drugstore, Shein, fast fashion, Amazon, like everything, I don't know, everything looks the same. Like someone will do something high-end, it's trending, and then everyone will sort of like jump to do their version of it because everyone's trying to stay relevant. There's just like, there's too many businesses out there, I feel like. Everyone's just trying to shoot their shot. There's too many content creators out there. Everyone's trying to shoot their shot. And like, I'm no different. Like, I'm still trying to, I don't know, do something with my account, get it seen. But I guess, okay, I'm trying to tie this in with what I was saying before. Like, when everything is the same, when you have that uniformity, it's boring. We're so much more diverse than that. Like, people, again, have different opinions about things and different likes and interests, and I think that should be celebrated rather than hidden or, I don't know, hidden, shunned. Oh, this is so cool. I'm living for this. Okay, and we're gonna segue again. Well, looking at the beauty industry, it's starting to change, I think, a little bit, but everything has just been so, like, you know, clean girl makeup, everything very minimalist, and, you know, not too much, very demure, like, not too much on the lips, like, we're just gonna do our Rhode lip peptide, whatever bullshit, and everything is very safe. Nothing is, like, too far out of bounds. And the same with, like, you know, the sad beige apartments and the sad beige houses and the sad beige babies and the sad beige clothes. Like, everything is safe so that, and I'm just theorizing, so that it's like, it's not offensive. It's like, you know, anyone can wear it and you won't be offending anyone. It's just very, like, I mean, it's literally neutral, but it's also just like, you know, there's nothing objectively wrong with it. And then I'm going to segue that into a series that I found on TikTok where the creator was like, is your favorite aesthetic fascist? And look, I know that that's just a clickbait title, and I know that this is really cool. I know that actually, you know what? I think I'm just gonna let that kind of dry splotchy. Oh, I guess I should probably maybe narrate what I'm doing. Just adding the eye paint on my lashes instead of mascara, and it's going to be kind of clumpy because it's not actually mascara. It's just kind of like sitting there to color it. But I think it's pretty cool. Anyways, talking about this series of like, is your favorite aesthetic fascist? So right off the bat, it's like a very attention grabbing headline. It is, oh, well, I'm not a fascist. It like immediately puts you on edge. You want to keep watching to see, well, am I a fascist? Is my favorite aesthetic fascist? And look, we know that anything divisive, anything that evokes a strong emotional reaction, like that kind of content does really well these days, which is kind of disheartening. Because, it's like the world is already so depressing that we shouldn't be forced or incentivized to watch or create more negative content that just feeds into it. For me, I have to figure out what kind of lip I want to do. For me, social media is my escape. Like, the world is just terrible. Reading news headlines, like, it's just, it makes you feel so depressed. Also, just like, cost of living is insane. And like everywhere around you, everyone's like price gouging you. You just see the effects of, everything going on in the world. So social media, it's like, I just want to see nice, pretty pictures. Meanwhile, like, I'm filming this March 18th, like about 2-3 weeks ago, apparently there was like this whole weird day on Instagram where there was a surge in violent and pornographic content, just like all of a sudden just being like shown to lots and lots of people. Social media is where I want to see nice pictures. I want to see a cute makeup look. I want to see a cute outfit. Like, I want to be able to escape, and you really can't escape it anywhere. When negative content comes up like that, it kind of pisses me off because it just sort of feeds into this whole negative cyberspace that we've created that like just seems to be getting worse instead of better. And like, obviously, like, you try and follow people who sort of like are what you want to see, but every now and then you'll get stuff that slips through your algorithm. I don't know, it feels like I can't talk and do my lips at the same time. It feels like there's no safe spaces left, and it just causes people to retreat more and more into their echo chambers, I guess, leading to people like fully cutting people out of their lives who don't align with them politically. Now, I understand, before you come at me, obviously if someone's making you feel unsafe or like fully, they're being bigoted towards you, like, I'm not saying you should stay with someone who's abusive, but I don't know, cutting people out of your lives when they don't align with you politically, and that means relatives, friends, whatever, it just doesn't feel productive. I don't know, like, I lost a friendship probably like 10 years ago over politics, and it was a stupid thing. I mean, it wasn't stupid. She was posting like really horrible, okay, whatever. I'm Jewish. She was posting like horribly anti-Semitic things, like full political cartoons with like lots of harmful Jewish stereotypes. It was horrible. And like, we had this whole fight online. Like, we didn't actually talk in person about it, which, like, in hindsight, I mean, I wish we could have, discussed in person, because maybe things would have turned out differently. But anyways, whatever. She ended up blocking me. We're not friends anymore. She wasn't willing to hear me out. I mean, there were like other things going on that she was like, whatever. There was more to the fight than just that. Whatever, I'm not really explaining myself well because it's not really the point of the video. Anyways, she just ended up blocking me instead of like wanting to hear my opinion. I probably should have heard her opinion about like the other stuff that was going on. Should I do those TikTok lips, or should I just do Cupid's bow? What do we think? I kind of want to do that like rounded lip thing, so I think I'll do that. If we're like willing to cross the aisle, quote unquote, and hear each other out instead of just like retreating further and further into our like safe spaces and full on demonizing the other side, then I think we'll be better off. And also, I mean, I don't like to buy into conspiracy theories at all, but sometimes I'm like, you know what, that kind of makes sense. And I saw lipstick on my teeth. I'm putting lip liner and lipstick on. The lip liner, I don't even know if they make this anymore. It's the Pure On Point lip liner in the shade Vamp. And I'm putting on Lancome lipstick in the shade Berry Noir. I heard this, like, I guess it's kind of a conspiracy theory that was saying something along the lines of, like, these social media companies and stuff like that are, and, like, politicians, I guess, as well, by extension, are using, like, world conflicts like Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Palestine, things like that, to sort of act as a distraction and get people really riled up and fighting each other to distract from like all these billionaires, like, I don't know, manipulating the economy or doing things, whether it's politically, economically, whatever, to their advantage and fucking over the rest of us. So they're using, this is like conspiracy theory, they're using like world issues and like social issues as well to just get people fighting each other so that they don't, like, we, the common people, don't focus on everything else going on sort of at a higher level of government or, you know, the way that social media companies are run or like any other businesses, real estate, etc. I don't know. That's like one of those things where it's like, you know what, that kind of makes a good degree of sense. I'm not saying that I believe it entirely, and it's also got like, I think, a little bit of like an anti-Semitic undertone. So like, I don't like to believe in things like, you know, the global elite. It's like very anti-Semitic dog whistly. I'm like so paranoid that my lipstick is going to get on my teeth because I never wear bullet lipstick. So it's just like so glossy feeling that I'm like paranoid. But also things are just so bad economically, socially, politically. We're so divided. The cost of living is insane. Like everything just seems to be getting worse. We're in unprecedented times. We're like living through another like global upheaval, and it's exhausting to live and makes you kind of lose faith and feel hopeless towards any sort of resolution of anything, to be honest. But I'm trying not to be so negative. I say this, but it's really difficult. I try and like disconnect from the internet and like do something completely offline that's like productive and makes me feel good, because it's not good to engage with all that negative content all the time. Like it really does a number on you. How did we get here from Republican makeup? I guess like my point is, this is gonna sound so cheesy, like not let evil win, not let these things drive us apart. Like we need to really engage with each other more, have more conversations with each other, try and be more civil and understanding so that we don't continue to push ourselves to the far ends of the political spectrum. Because right now we're so far that it feels like we're just yelling at each other from across the room, but we're not actually getting anywhere. And if you just hear people out, like you probably have more in common with people than you think. I think we just need to be kinder towards each other. And it's also like, it's such a low blow to attack people based on the way they look, whether it's like the way that they physically look or that the way that they choose to do their makeup. Like I'm sure there are tons of people who will look at me and the way that my makeup is done right now and be like, oh my God, you're such a clown, this and that. But like, who cares? Really, who cares? If that's what makes you happy, Good for you. Like, we all need more things to give us like joy and happiness in the world these days. Like, things are just so bleak and depressing. So, like, if that makes you happy, great. It's none of your business. Like, if they like their spray tan and their clumpy lashes, we're going back to Republican makeup now, then great. Okay. You don't have to do your makeup like that. Who cares? And on the other token, if this person has purple hair and no eyebrows because they shaved them off and decides to do yellow stripes and pink polka dots across their face, great. And that makes them happy, great. It's none of your business. Who cares? Like, I don't know why I have to say this, but like, just the pettiness and bullying and judgmental behavior, like, it feels like high school all over again. And like, everyone, well, okay, I won't speak for everyone. I had a miserable time in high school. I don't want to have to relive that. Like, why are we so immature like that? It's really bizarre. We should just have more fun, be kinder, have more fun, play with colors, just express yourself. We shouldn't be afraid to express ourselves. I remember reading something about like doing the right thing even if it's unpopular. I feel like that was like one of those like, attribute of the month that like I'd see on like a local public school near me or whatever. But honestly, it's kind of true. Like, just, we shouldn't be so afraid to be ourselves and express our opinions. Like, we shouldn't be so far in these echo chambers that we feel afraid to express ourselves and speak up to our friends and be worried that our friends are gonna like excommunicate us. Like, it's weird. It's sinister. It's giving fascist a little bit. Is it not? Is it just me? I don't know. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. It doesn't feel right. But yeah, so that is episode 2. This is me just going off the script. So between episode 1 and episode 2, if you listen to my first episode and you listen to this, thank you for making it this far. And I'd love to hear your thoughts because I'm new to this whole podcasting thing. I listen to quite a few podcasts, but I'm just kind of like, I like talking to a camera and just kind of doing my makeup and hanging out. So I don't know, we're trying out this format and we're seeing if it works. So let me know if you prefer kind of me just rambling at the camera versus something a little bit more scripted. I feel like probably something in between is probably better, but you let me know what you think. If you're interested in following me on my socials, like I do have, I think Instagram and TikTok for the podcast, but then I also have my personal account. So I'm Unfiltered Beauty Pod, I think, on socials for the podcast. And then I'm Laura Luminary on pretty much every social media platform. So you can follow me there. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, like, follow, etc. Love to have you. I'm really trying to you know what? I want to build a community of people who are just like kind of my vibe, my speed. I'd love if you could join. I'd love to have like more conversations with people, like whether it's about this topic or just about anything. I like chatting. So I'm like quite introverted, but I do love to just kind of yap. So yeah, feel free to follow me on socials or comment below. And I will try and do more of these because this is actually very fun and cathartic. So you know what? I'm gonna under-promise and over-deliver. I plan to do another one of these at some point. So I'm not gonna give like a specified time because I feel like that's a lot easier for me to follow through with. So Eventually, you'll see me. I'm much more active on Instagram and TikTok, like my personal Laura Luminary one, just with like makeup looks and cute outfits and stuff like that. So if that's your kind of thing, which is like really, that's my thing, I just kind of like to talk about other stuff as well, then feel free to follow me on socials. I'm a lot more active on those accounts, and I hope to post sometime soon. Bye.